Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about this storyline called Wolverine and Nick Fury, the Scorpio Connection. Now, this is much more of a Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type of story, and it just happens to have Wolverine in it. So, but I get why they put Wolverine's names first because he kind of sells more comics. But, anyways, you gotta know that going in that it's more of a spy type of story, but Wolverine is heavily involved in this story. So back in the days, I believe like the late 60s, early 70s, Jim Steranko, who's a famous comic book artist back then, he was like in his prime. It was the time, with hippies and all that type of stuff, psychedelic artwork and psychedelic drugs. And James Bond was a popular movie franchise at that time. Nick Fury was like a sergeant and war stories and all that. They wanted to modernize him for that era. So they made him kind of like a spy. So he had the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Kind of like Marvel's take on James Bond. They're like, hey, that's hot right now. Let's do something like that. And that's the Nick Fury we know today. We don't know that soldier. We know more the government S.H.I.E.L.D. agent character. So I think this is one of those things when they changed the character, he became much better in my opinion. I bring that up to say that he wrote this like 16, 18 issue story, Nick Fury. And here, writer Archie Goodwin decided to kind of continue from that era and bring some of those characters and some of those plot points into this story and kind of like, tie up loose ends type of deal. It would help if you read some of that stuff before you read this, but they do reference it and they do mention it, so you're never like lost or anything. I have not read that stuff, but it definitely made me want to go back and read those stories. The artist here is Howard Chaikin. I'm familiar with him. I've seen some of his work. And here the art, it looks a lot different. It has a whole different tone to it. And I think that is because of the colorist, Richard Ori. Him, I am not too familiar with. I don't know what other comics he has done. But the way he does the colors, they almost come off almost like crayons. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it's different and it stands out. And he uses colors like, I'll talk about that as I talk a little bit about the story here. For example, in the beginning, we have Nick Fury. He's at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters talking about like, oh man, we're the old guard. We're on our way out. They're kind of pushing us out. Like, maybe it's time for us to retire. All these new agents are hungry to like move up in the company, taking like the big missions. And he's talking to Dum Dum Dugan here that while they're working out at the gym, and he's like, nah, like Nick, you still got it, man. Like he's still pushing that mad weight, he still got that cardio going, stays in pretty good shape. Especially for someone his age, he still stays in shape like he was 30, but he's like pushing 50 already, right? So he goes to this bar after his workout, kind of thinking about his life, like, should I just retire? Is it that time already? Let the young bucks have all the action, and he's just drinking and kind of like overthinking his career, right? Like maybe I should just settle down, get married already. And while they do this whole bar scene, I like what the colorist did here, Richard Ori. So this is what I wanted to get at. Like here, it's all blue, like if it's a nightclub or something, but it's like 10 different shades of blue. So he gives it this feel that one, it's a nightclub, but it's also like he's feeling a little more gloomy and stuff, right? He's feeling blue. And I like what they did with it. There's this girl here in the bar, and this is, I think, written in 1989. So her hair is very much of that era. And it just stood out to me. It looks like someone from a rock band or something. And you see her in the background drinking, and the way they colored her hair, it really pops because it's just blue, but it's like 3 different shades of blue. And it's just like the use of lighting, like where you see it a lighter blue, it means like lights are hitting her hair or whatever. And it just really kind of caught my attention, and I was like, oh, I see what this guy's doing with the colors. It's kind of interesting. Then there's another scene, like when there's action scenes or action panels or whatever, he will color it all red, but it'll be like red, and he'll use some touches of orange. And that's like a dangerous situation or an alert situation. That a lot of colorists do that. They do red backgrounds or all red panel, no colors, so that it's like red alert, emergency type thing. But he does this with a lot of different colors. Again, like with the blues, he sometimes can throw in like a green, and it really makes it look kind of crazy. And it's been done before, but I really like the way he does it and when he chooses to do it on what panels. We start off with a recap, and it's all in black and white. So whenever it's like the past or a memory, it's in black and white, every panel. So like the whole page will be that way. And again, the colorist is just doing this thing. It's all black, grays, whites. And we're talking about this lady from back in the old Jim Steranko run that Nick Fury had met, and he was fighting this guy named the Scorpio. So it turned out this supervillain, the Scorpio, was his brother. Okay, so he fought his brother and he believes for him to be dead. Now the woman that his brother was dating, she comes back. She is now out of prison and there's a Scorpio again, and he's like, well, it can't be my brother because I killed him, he's dead. But part of him wishes it's kind of true, like well, hopefully he's still alive. Cause so the plot thickens basically, right? Because Wolverine shows up to help Nick Fury, and Nick Fury, you know, being an agent and being a spy, he's really good at like hiding his feelings and like, bullshitting all the time, right? That's what he's known for. That's his big trope of his, because he works for SHIELD, for basically like FBI, CIA, and you know, they lie a lot, they hide a lot of things from the public, kind of like a need to know basis type of stuff. So he's not being straightforward with Wolverine, but Wolverine, he's you know, he has mutant abilities. He's kind of like a animal. He can sense things, and he knows Nick Fury's emotionally invested in this mission, and that's not good because you gotta stay even keel. You can't let your feelings get in the way of your missions. But at the same time, I see it that it's personal with this particular mission. So at the end of the day, Nick Fury breaks it down to Wolverine. Look, the old Scorpio, that was my brother. I killed him. There's a new Scorpio in town, and I don't know who this guy is, but he has it in for me. So he has some type of vendetta. Now Wolverine here, when they're fighting and all that, this isn't your regular ongoing series. It is connected to the main Marvel universe, even though this was a graphic novel. It wasn't numbered like issue 1, 2 or whatever. So here they say a lot of bad words. It's a little more brutal. Here you see just Wolverine just slashing people when in the fight scenes, killing people, even though he does do it in the main ongoing series as well. Turns out the main villain is not really this new Scorpio. It's somebody brainwashing him, which turns out was a lady that dated Nick Fury back in the days. But when Nick Fury dated her, he was a spy, so he was just pretending to be in love with her, kind of like using her, right? And she was actually dating his brother. So she was cheating on Nick Fury's brother, who was Scorpio at the time, with Nick Fury himself. She ended up going to prison in the original ongoing, so now she's back out of prison, and that's why she came around at the same time as the new Scorpio. She's been brainwashing someone else to take the mantle of Scorpio and to hate Nick Fury with a passion. I really like this one scene where she really gives Nick Fury this speech where she's like, yes, I may be a bitch, but you gotta remember, behind every bitch out there, there is a man who made her that way. And in this situation, that man is Nick Fury. He turned her into this evil person, even though she was already somewhat bad. Because she had never had feelings for somebody. She was just a criminal, if you will, or a terrorist. And she kind of fell in love with Nick Fury back in the days. And he was just running game on her. Like, he wasn't even serious. He was just trying to get information out of her to catch the bad guys, because that's who she was rolling with. He was pretty good. Sometimes things could be wordy, like in stories, and I get bored by the conversations the characters are having, and I kind of just skim through that stuff. Here, the conversations were pretty good. I enjoyed them. I never felt like skipping through the dialogue. And then, you know, there's sometimes other books where the dialogue is just explaining what the characters are gonna go do and what their plan is or whatever. Here you had a little bit of like actual dialogue of just interaction between the characters, how they act, and like, but it was cut short. Like, they never dragged it out too long because we have to get back to the story. So I felt the pacing was pretty good. If you like spy stories, or if you like SHIELD, you will enjoy this. It was kind of by the numbers. You probably see a lot of this. It's tropes that happen in the SHIELD series a lot, where you go to a country thinking you're the good guy and to help people, and next thing you know, Nick Fury will find out something like, oh wait, we're the terrorists this whole time, we're the villains. Like little plot twists like that happen in these types of books. This one's no different, but the plot twist here are a lot more personal. I don't want to give too much away because what makes the Shield stories kind of cool, these spy stories, a lot of times they're kind of by the numbers, and what makes them cool is like these plot twists and these surprises. That's what makes them cool. So I don't want to give the surprises away. Like once you get rid of those in the movie, the replay value isn't as great. Same thing here, so I don't want to spoil those things for you. I wouldn't say the surprises here were predictable, like I saw them coming, because I didn't see them coming, but at the same time I wasn't like super shocked or surprised. So the delivery was, it left something to be desired. Now Chaikin's, he did a great job with the facial expressions on the characters. Every time there was a big reveal or plot twist, you see a character and they zoom in, give them a whole panel of just their face, like shocked, like oh my god. I thought he did a great job on the expressions when those scenes, and it really sold you on it. Because even though you were lackluster, when you see the panels, especially if you're reading it in digitally in guide view, so it shows the whole screen, just a panel of the facial expressions, then you get shocked, kind of like you get into it, like oh wow, like you feed into the art. In case you have not read like a Shield book, or maybe some of the stories that are not in the regular ongoings, I'm gonna spoil the ending a little bit. It's they catch the bad guys. That's how these stories usually end. The good guys win. So here, it's Scorpio and it's the mastermind, this lady. So Nick Fury sees Scorpio fighting with Wolverine and he just shoots him up. Shoots him, and that guy's just laying there dying, and Nick Fury's like, get the medics, maybe we can save him. Probably not. The lady shows up, what did you do? I was brainwashing him, I'm the real villain. While she's giving her whole villain speech, Wolverine comes from behind and he just stabs her with his claws, right? And kills her too. He goes, okay, you're the real villain, let's get rid of you too. So yes, this is not like the movies where in the Shield stores, we just get rid of the bad guys and they don't come back. So the endings have like this feeling of almost like justice is served. So yeah, it's not a happy ending. Let's just put it that way. All in all, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this story like a 6. I did like the art. It was good art. I like Chaikin's. I really like what the colorist did. It was a little bit different. I brought a little bit something new to the table. If you guys have read this before, drop your opinions, your thoughts on the comment section down below. If you have not, based on this video, what did you think about it? Is this something you want to pick up and read? Let me know. Other than that, go ahead and hit that like button on your way out, and thanks for checking out the video.